fellow Scorpions, welcome back. And with me, I have DSC Lead Velda Kiara, and she's here to talk to us more about herself and what she's up to with DSC-JKUAT. So, Velda, pleasure having you.
Thank you.
So, tell us briefly about yourself as a person.
Well, as you've heard, my name is Velda, the current DSC Lead of JKUAT. I'm also a student here doing Business Information Technology. I'm currently on an internship in Neverest where we do back-end development, but I'm planning on going full stack. Yes.
Okay, so DSC.
Yes. So DSC is a club that is sponsored by Google and run by Students for Students. The whole DSC means Developer Student Club. So what we do is we share what we know about Google technologies and how we can implement this in our daily activities. Such as if you want to have a website for a certain startup, you can just build one through the programs that we have. In JKUAT, we not only offer web and Android development, we also offer cybersecurity, Internet of Things, and data science. Currently, we are having the Solutions Challenge, which is an annual competition for all DSCs globally. And in this challenge, we focus on building a solution for our local community. And one of the factors is you need to use at least one or more Google technologies. So yes, our main focus is using Google technologies since the club is sponsored by Google. Yes, and so far our main focus is on insecurity. So we are trying to see how we can solve this since it's a wide scope. Yes.
So you are working on a solution that will bring on board the four tracks: Android, web, cybersecurity, and data science.
Yes, which is a bit tricky because we had to look for one that can actually spread out, because getting a solution that can spread out like that is not easy. That was one of the challenges we faced as a community. We wanted to get everyone involved in the solution. Yes.
So how are you going about that challenge?
We're still doing it. But we decided to focus on each track to work on their own phase. For example, the Android track will work on a mobile app of the challenge that we're solving, that is insecurity in regards to people's safety and devices. But devices will come later after IoT have actually built what we want to build. I won't say what we want to build right now because we are still debating on it. And yes, because IoT is purely hardware. Yes, so we would like to get those devices and program them, the Arduino boards and everything. So we are still doing it still on the phase of developing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are a DSC lead.
Yes.
And it's a huge community.
Yeah.
So what is your opinion on developer communities in Kenya?
Well, I am still growing in technology because of the communities that I take part in, that I go attend the meetups and engage with other people who attend the meetup. The communities are really doing well, and being a lead is also not an easy task because you need to get a lot of people together in the same room and have to discuss all the ideas that all of you guys have and listen to each and everyone's opinion, which later comes on to now, okay, we all have all these opinions, but which one are we taking part in really? What are we going to be able to do? And in the end of this, what are we accomplishing? Yes, there are a lot of factors when you're dealing with such a community, and since this is just JKUAT and you can see me talking about all this, you can just imagine the one who's leading the Nairobi community. You have to put a lot of factors in consideration, like who is attending these meetings, who will this meeting benefit.
So why would you encourage somebody in campus to join a DSC club?
definitely you learn a lot, and you don't just learn from one person, because you have different facilitators doing different tracks. You get to learn a lot, and you get to actually see that there's a difference in how someone communicates something. When you're teaching, not necessarily, I wouldn't say teaching, but explaining what you do, you actually get to learn more as you explain, because you have to make it so simple that whoever you're telling can understand. Yes, so you get to hear very different methods of how people interpret things, and you get to understand their point of view. Yes, and it's a learning opportunity. You get to meet a lot of people who are learning with you, so you get to understand you're not alone. If you get a bug or an error, I have had people who have gone through this, so you can easily approach them. And yes, being in a community makes you feel like you belong somewhere.
So you mentioned Neverest.
Yes.
It's a startup.
Yes.
And you are an intern at Neverest.
Yes.
So how did you get to Neverest?
Well, definitely application process and all that. You have to go through the whole vetting process. And the funny thing is that these people who are leading Neverest were actually DSC members, DSC-JKUAT members. So they are the founders. They decided to come up with a startup that will not only help solve problems that we have, but also go along with getting other people who are in JKUAT to get interested in technology and understand all the things that we do, and to also help out students here who are looking for internships, for example, like me.
So that's how you got to Neverest?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were one of the founders.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't even, at that time I didn't even know what Neverest is. But you see, when something that I have learned while interning in the startup is you get to learn a lot. I considered also applying for these big companies for roles and all that, but then I realized I'm not going to learn as much as I would want to, because during the internship period you have to make the most out of it, because for us we only get one internship, so that gives you one shot to understand what is going on in the industry, what is needed, what are the things that you apply that should not be applied in a real scenario, scalable solutions, viable solutions, sustainable ones. So you get to understand, you get to actually be on the ground, collect data and everything that you need, get feedback from actual users of the product. It's really exciting. I am having the best time of my life right now. And the fact that we not only use one technology. I used to do Python, but right now, since the project we're doing Go, I'm now learning Go so that I can be able to implement the project, which is actually really good, because I don't even try to so I want to do this language and all that. It just comes and then you just do it on a project based, which learning on a project based is actually really good, because you get to implement everything and you get to see what you might have missed if you didn't do it maybe using a project-based learning method. Yeah.
What is one interesting project you have ever worked on?
One interesting project?
Yes.
I don't think I'm allowed to say because it's in the company I'm interning on. Yes, but the best one I worked in was, I can't say the actual project because it hasn't been released, but it was something that needed me to also do front end. And front end to me was really interesting because you are actually seeing the results immediately. If you're adding space bars, you actually see the impact of having the spaces. If you add this certain color, you see how it contracts with different colors. So front end is really interesting, but also back end is work. Yeah, so that actually motivated me to not only do back end development but also front end, completely full stack.
What is one advice you have for ladies who are still wondering whether to take up technology, or they are still lagging behind in whatever they are doing as regards tech?
Okay, one thing I would say is a journey of 1,000 miles takes one step. So you need to stop debating and having all these options on the table. You just need to start learning, and once you start, you'll get the momentum, so it actually becomes really interesting. And these days it's not just we understand that yes, it's still male dominated, but we're still also coming up with our own like learning methods. We have Anita Borg, which also helps women to embrace technology more. We have more communities who are also more involved with getting women on board in technology. So you just need to settle and do it. Just do it, like his slogan.
So how do you manage to keep your head up as a female in an industry that is presumed to be a male-dominated field?
Well, it's interesting sometimes, and then sometimes going to rooms and you ask yourself, okay, what am I even doing here? Clearly I'm failing. Like, you also get those times when you feel like you're failing, because it's not always good. Yes. So at times like this, you need to remind yourself why you started it in the first place. You started it because you had a choice to choose it, and you chose this. So there's no need of backing out when it gets tough, because that actually defines the person who you are. And you need to be committed and disciplined to the learning process. Yes, nothing comes easy, nothing ever good comes easy. So we all have to work through it. So how I keep my head up, I remind myself that I am not just doing this for me. I remind myself that maybe to all those who will see what I have done or would like to do what I have done would get motivated to actually do it. And that makes all the impact. Like, I am making it easier for somebody else who wants to join me, or who comes after me, to get an easier process instead of just going through all the hurdles that I had to go through.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And what is your mantra in life?
Wow, I have a lot of those. Because I love, like, one thing when I read Michelle Obama's book Becoming, it taught me about embracing your story. So it doesn't matter anything, nothing matters. You just need to be able to tell your story, and telling your story is doing it on your own terms. You don't need to be told anything. This is you writing your own book, like your life book, basically, not the hard copy thing. Yes, your life story, and you need to be able to own your story, because this is yours. I mean, nobody else has lived through what you've lived through. You're the one who can best describe what you went through.
Yeah.
Yes.
So lastly, what advice would you have for young people around the world who want to take up STEM courses?
Do it. It is not easy. It will actually have you questioning why you'll choose it in the first place.
Yeah.
But doing it and seeing what you're doing, that is seeing the impact after doing it, makes it all worth it.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Velda, for coming on the show. Pleasure.